Hey everybody, it's Lynn at a bit of Birdsong. I thought it would be a good time to check in. I'm working on a few journals this morning, just playing some catch up. I have printed a couple of pictures of the work I did in the garden in the front bed. The color is not that great in that, and it looks so sparse to me after having the huge cottage garden I had years ago, but I know that it'll turn into what it needs to be. I also deal with a lot of deer here, so they eat a lot of stuff, and I'm learning over time what they will leave alone. And they do eat a lot of things, even things that are labeled deer proof they get into. I'm going to trim this one to be a little more narrow. That's a mosaic bird bath that I made mostly as an attempt to get back into it. I used to follow a real protocol, and they were much more level and even, but I had some leftover cement and mortar. I made this one about 4 years ago and just dug a really shallow hole in the ground, and the concrete's not really even level. It's more level than it looks in this picture. So it does hold a little basin of water, and I just love mosaics. One of you mentioned mosaics for these glass pieces, and I love that. I love that thought, and especially the thought of them trapping water for the birds and stuff. So I'll be really careful not to leave any sharp edges. I wanted to put this picture in. I made a list of the things that I had planted, some things that were from my mom, and then some things that had come from the nursery. A couple of things that I actually found growing in the compost that I moved to the front. One was some really nice garlic. I guess we had just composted it. So I moved that to the front. I'm going to clip this picture in, and I'll make a little note about that. This plant called Solomon's Seal, I love it because it's spreading so readily. I planted this, I don't think it was last year, I think it was the year before. I've shared with you all that it's been really hard for me to dig my heels in and garden because it's having something so beautiful taken from you, my old garden. And then I think part of what comes from trauma, abuse, whatever, is being afraid that you're afraid to claim ownership again, because if something could be taken away in the first place, in light of faith, in light of doing your best, in light of whatever you were doing to hang on, if something can be taken away and you're powerless and you've lost everything material, I'm so grateful to have my children and my family, it's hard to claim something again and start over and put all of yourself into it. I would try to dig my heels in and do a little bit, and then I would back off. But the deer seem to leave this alone, and it's just so hardy. It's so pretty. I'm going to clip this one in as well. Maybe I'll do that over here because I want to write a little bit about each one. I want to make this garden, I want to take my time and let it be a healing process, and really a process of trust and peace. I do want to do some more research on this plant. I have read a little bit about the rhizomes being edible, and that would be something I would like to know more about. I want to get back to the wild edibles and all of this, just the whole gardening process. I want to embrace something new and learn from it. I want it to be healing. I want it to be good. So let me just make a note that this is Solomon's Seal. And I'm going to put rhizomes edible with a question mark. I'm going to make a little note here that says research so that I can add to that. I believe that was planted, actually I know, let's see, planted, and was it actually, I think it might have been the summertime instead of the spring. I'm going to say summer, and I'll put a question mark by that. I'm going to put 2018 with a question mark. So you know what? I will find out for sure and come back and add that. I love that about journaling, that you can update, you can add. It's so healing. It feels so good to be out here this morning. I can look over to the right, and I love that shelf. I love that skull, actually. It was out on the shelves at Halloween, and I was out with my mom and sister at the time. It was before Halloween. It was one of our outings to get coffee, and yeah, I liked that. I have a mix out here, and this, Oh my goodness. I found 2 of those. They are, they're really heavy, like a plaster. I don't think they're cement. They're not quite that heavy. And all of these roses are roses that I dried. They're probably roses from Jason, actually, as are these. I love to take them and hang them upside down. That's in a beautiful mosaic vase. But let's look over here. There is the other really heavy planter that it's got dried roses in it. I love that. Anyway, I like being able to just look over to the left and see all that. And then back here, the beautiful light that came from my mother-in-law, and the shadow box. Does anybody else keep a shadow box? I have another one inside that has a lot in it. I probably have more I could put in this one, but I just haven't done it. Maybe I'll do something with that at some point. I've got little charms hanging up out here. That was something at my beautiful scrap exchange. I made that to put on display to help us sell these vintage envelopes. That's a really old padded envelope, and I love it so much. So yeah, let me get back over here too. Anyway, it's a nice diversion here. I will tell you that at this point I have been furloughed from my job at the scrap exchange. I don't know that any business is going to be allowed to stay open if it's non-essential. So everything I'm doing right now, I'm doing from home. Okay. Mosaic, bird, bath, created around, let's see, Jason and I have been together 6 years. I think I made this around 2016. I wanted to get things more organized so that I know exactly. That's a gold flame spirea there. Those bright gold or gold leaf spirea, they're beautiful. The deer kind of bother those, so we'll see how that does. So that's all I'm going to do in that one for right now. I have so much I want to get done today.